everyone. I'm Rejoice, and welcome to Umatta Consultant Podcast. If today's your first time on our show, please make sure you subscribe to all of our social media channels, especially Spotify. Today, we have the special privilege of speaking to Mikael. He is an inner leadership coach, and I would love for him to introduce himself as he sees fit, and we'll dive right into the questions. So, Mikael, the mic is yours, please.
Thank you for letting me be on your show. I'm Mikael Avatar, and Michael with a K, and Avatar, that's really in my passport. So it's my real name. I have been a coach, life coach, all my life. So it's some 48 years. I take people from where they are now to find their inner peace and their authentic, whatever person that's hiding behind all these masks that we have to put up to survive in the society we are living. It's like a false avatar that we show out. So that's my passion now in my life, to help people take away these masks.
Yes, Michael, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I like the work you do. I'm actually very excited to dive into more questions from you in terms of how you help people. But our first question for you, I want you to take us back to 1996. And I think you know what I'm about to say. Now, I don't know what I was doing in 1996, but my brother was born in 1995. You did a breaking world record at the Paralympics. What does that
Yes.
mean to you? And what happened?
At that time, it doesn't mean anything because I was so I was so focused on the next event, and it was the 100 meter. So when you go to the championship, like the Paralympic, you're so focused in the presence. So you don't have time to reflect what's going on, really. But what it meant after some year, it meant it opened door, unbelievable doors to people I would have never met if I haven't broken the world record in Atlanta. It's now 30 years ago in August. That's a long, long time, but
Yes.
still it's affecting my life on a daily basis. And I can't even believe today that I could achieve, because it's very, very rare to do something like that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Did you know you were going to break the record, or was it the goal to break the record at all? I'm just curious.
I believe that I was doing my best, and how far that's going to take me, I didn't know. I wanted to win. I wanted to achieve something big, and I did that. But after I did that, I thought something magical should happen. Some sparkle, something, whatever. But there was nothing. There was nothing there, because my avatar, my mask that I had at that time, it was so focused on sport world, sport. I didn't know so much about the rest of the life that normal people live. So when I stopped with the sport world, it was a different fight. It was a different goal setting. So it's very complicated because most people have never been achieving something so 24/7 for so many years, and then you do this magical jump or whatever, and you're not prepared to take that in and use it in a normal life.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So I want to also pivot to, you mentioned hitting zero and losing everything. What does that actually mean to you? From someone coming from such a huge amount of success and then you're losing everything.
Yeah, it was like this that I was talking about. I came home, I thought something magical should, whatever, but it
Yeah.
never happened. Normal life happened, and normal life, normal people, they go shopping every week to buy food, to buy all this stuff. I have never done that. I have traveled the world, lived at hotels. I didn't know how to shop even. So that's like starting from zero. I didn't really live anywhere because I lived at hotels. So I had to start over. And the biggest problem that I didn't understand was I have to find a new passion,
Mm.
something fulfilling me. So I have to like show my life, start focus on something new that makes me happy, all this stuff. So that's kind of zero what I'm talking about. Losing everything, losing my sports career, losing and start over.
And we're going to talk more about that. But before we dive a little bit more deeper, I want to go back to the success also, because from the outside of you achieving the record, you had success. You were an athlete. You were a business owner. Um, what did people not see behind the scenes? Because on the outside, success is beautiful, right? But behind the scenes, people don't see it all. So what are they missing?
I think most people that have success, real success, we're talking about they have worked 10, maybe 15,000 hours. They are so narrow. So I trained 15,000 hours and it takes 6 seconds to break world record. So you have to
Wow,
try.
just 60 seconds. 60 seconds.
No, 6 seconds. So,
6
so,
seconds.
yeah,
Wow.
so they are talking about this 15-minute success, but
Yeah.
it's not really 15 minutes. It's a
Mm.
few seconds, but you have to train a lot to come there. So you have to create a new self, like operating, and people who never have been there, they don't know behind the mask. So when I came home, I was a public speaker. I got engaged in a big events, whatever. I came back to the hotel, but I was still empty inside because that didn't fulfill the dreams, the achievement that I wanted to expect of my life. They say that pianists, they who play piano and travel the world, that's one of the loneliest work in the world, because you
Mm.
play the piano, you get this focus frame, You go to the hotel and it's only quiet emptiness. And if you listen to successful sportsmen, pop stars, they feel the same emptiness because they are on the stage, but behind, they are not fulfilled. So that's my goal with podcast, with everything I do, to talk about the behind the scene. Who am I really? I'm not that famous achievement guy inside. Outside, yes, but inside, I have to find my joy, my happiness in a different way.
That I like the thought about finding your own happiness in a different way outside of accomplishments, achievements, praises, external validations. It all sounds like it's something given to you versus what you coach on, which is internal. How do you find that happiness internally so you can be content with yourself? Was there a specific moment where you asked yourself, how did I end up here? And how did I feel?
I think I do that every week. It's like this reality check to see, am I happy doing this? Is
Yeah,
this the way perhaps that I have chosen to walk? Because we get distracted and we go left instead of right. We think the happiness is right, but it's really left because the left is so much harder to walk. So we go right. You understand what I mean? And that's the trick. Because if I have a path, a goal, clear goal, and I follow that path for what's happiness for me, then I'm okay. And so, but I have 3 big zero. One was when I finished sport, I had to evaluate what I'm doing in my life when sports is not there. I told people when I stop loving sport, I will
mm,
never go to sport arena. Second big, yeah, and I haven't. I just left it. Second was when I moved to Thailand from Sweden. That's a big reset. We can talk about that later. Because then you have to reevaluate your whole life. But on a daily basis, you have to check, reality check, step back. Am I happy doing this? Is this taking me where I want to go?
mm,
That's daily basis.
great point. I love that you're saying have the conversation with yourself. Ask yourself, am I doing something that is going to take me where I want to go? And internally, you're sort of having a conversation with yourself about your own peace and happiness. And I think it's a valuable thing for you to say because chasing after success, it feels empty sometimes if you're not having that internal conversation with yourself. So I appreciate you sharing that. Now, let me ask you this. Was there a lowest point emotionally for you? And what kept you from completely giving up?
I think there were many points in my life where it was very, very low. But what's keeping me going is changing perspective,
Mm,
changing my questions.
yes.
How did I end up here? What's my lesson in this exact moment. And when you take those questions in your darkest moment, then you have like an adventure. Because, wow, what should I learn from this? What
Mm,
skills do I have? And if you put it further, who should I give this knowledge to?
mm,
Because often, especially as a life coach or following people in their life, you have to experience life. It's like a library for people you meet. And you have clues for other people. And some clues you get in the darkest moment are people you're gonna meet in the future to give that clue to them. And
yeah,
that clue can be in 1 week, 1 hour, 5 years. So that's like an adventure. Who is I'm gonna meet to get this knowledge too?
wow.
And if you use that perspective, you don't really dive deeper in whatever hole you are in. You change the perspective. That's my passion.
Like that. Changing perspective, changing your mind and how you think. Now, I want to connect it to another question I have for you. A lot of high achievers tie their identity to success. How did losing everything impact your sense of self? And how can people break away from tying themselves from success and achievements?
So my identity as my success, I had to transform that to the present, to my new goals. My world record is only like jump when you jump in the pool. I don't know what this is called. Yeah, springboard to something else. So, but if I can't use that jump, then I don't need the world record. So you really have to transform why you're doing it. In the beginning, I did the world record training because I was so angry at the
Mm,
society. They threw me out of the universe because I have cerebral palsy and all this stuff. So I was angry. So I wanted to
gotcha.
point out that they were wrong. But that's the wrong angle. So I
Right.
have to change the angle, the way of thinking, to use the success in a different form and
Mm,
present it to people. Then you are authentic.
yes.
That's you understand
But
exactly
yeah,
what I'm.
I definitely understand the feeling. I had to do that internal work myself. Now, I want you to talk a little bit about the anger and a little bit about what society was expecting from you. How did you end up as who you are so people understand your story a little bit better?
Okay, so I grew up very differently from people. I had a perfect setup for a life coach. It's the best training because we have people from India, 6 people from India living with us from I was 7 to I was 11 and a half. That's a totally different culture from
Yes.
from from Europe. We have people that have uh, problems in life. They will stay. There were like 17 people living in our home between us, 7 to 17, and they live more than 6 months. So I had a different normal system. So I have to face, how should I put it, myself.
Mm,
How do I use this? I was angry at the society, angry at the school. They didn't
mm,
let me in. They didn't give me work. They didn't. Oh, it's so many prejudice in this
mm.
world. It's
Right.
different from Europe, different from Thailand, but they are
From the way
still
you
there.
look, the way you
The way,
speak. Tell us a
eh,
little bit about your story when you were born so people understand.
so I was born uh, 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 dead for 45 minutes.
Mm,
So that's how I got cerebral palsy. Uh, I used to think in a different perspective. I used to think I needed thinking 45 minutes before I came to this planet. Should I really come here?
You have a special gift.
But it was really tragic because my mom got beat up from my father. So it was really a tragic situation for my mom. That's why I was born 1 month too early. But my family never teach me how to act like a person with cerebral palsy. So we have all these people in our house. So there was no time to teach me how to act. The government ordered me a special bike so I could learn how to bike. But when the bike came after a few months, I had already learned how to bicycle for my friends at the neighbor. So I'm an action person. I do stuff. I don't ask people. I just do act, test, test, test. And that's how I've been all my life. I don't know if this answer exactly the question, but
Absolutely. Absolutely. It gives us an idea of who you are and why you believe what you believe and the challenges you had to go through and overcome along the way, which actually ties to my next question, which is at what point did things begin to shift for you mentally and spiritually? Because you talk about that in your book.
I think the biggest point breakthrough in my life was when I landed in Thailand. I
Mm,
came to Thailand because I had been on a vacation here, and after 5 days, I had no pain. If you shake your body 24/7 for 40 years, you get pain in your body. And when I came here in the humidity, in the warm weather here, after 5 days, I had no pain. So I decided 3 months later, I moved to Thailand. Why should I live in a cold country where I have pain when I can
yeah.
live in a country with no pain? So then I started walking on the beach, see the sun go up, see the sun go down, and figure out what should I really do? What's my real passion? There were two things who came up, my art and my coaching. The way I learn, follow people through life, and the way I do my art. So that was the focus. So from there on, I have a totally different life. In a country where time doesn't exist, it
Yes.
really doesn't exist, time in a Thailand, and you have to be authentic here. You can't hide behind a mask because it's like your call of life. You have to live your call here. So the big change in my life was 2009. That's like 16, 17 years ago, because there something else started that gave me the whole me.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I enjoy learning about your journey. As much as I also understand some of the challenge you had to overcome along the way to get you here, to how
Yeah,
you see things from your perspective in a positive light, which I truly appreciate.
yeah.
You create you created an avatar method. What is the core idea behind becoming an unbreakable avatar?
Um, I think it's the 1% is the key. So what's the
Mm,
1%? The 1% is the switch that change everything, but you have to find it. Yeah, and what is 1%? 1% is the thing, the new habit, the new goal, the new
mm,
whatever. That's only 1% of your life, but that creates a chain reaction that changes the other 99 automatically. I can give you an example. If you have a child, that's 1%, but it will affect the whole life. 100% sure, but
yes.
it doesn't mean to be that drastic. But if you learn how to observe, see yourself acting in the life, then you can find clues. Many people live like a half automatic life. They don't think about what they're doing. And the other half, they have like a mask. So they really don't live a full life,
Mm,
authentic life. So the Mikael Avatar method is to find your authentic you and find your 1% shift that takes you where you really want to go.
right. Right. I like the 1% talk daily shift that you are describing. I think it's a very creative way of describing changes of mindset, perspectives, your feelings, your emotions. Um, but in practicality, how does one apply it?
For example, I can tell a man called me and said, I wake up this morning, I was so, my life is only down, down. I feel very bad, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, well, if you should lie to yourself, lie big. What do you mean?
Mm,
Yeah, you can say to yourself, what a fantastic life.
yes.
It's it's the same lie, but a different perspective. And,
Yes, it is.
and 2 weeks later, he called me back and say,
Yeah.
wow,
It
because
changes your mood.
you wake up every morning and think, what a
Yes.
fantastic life. But the energy is much harder. So that was his shift. That was his twist in his life, because he had never thought about that. And I had another lady the other week. She was happy in joyful. She struggled go to the gym. She had
Right.
problem. There was a little bump, But when she come home from the gym, she was happy. But the struggle going there. So why are you going there? She didn't know. But after half an hour, 1 hour, she said, oh, now since I go to the gym, I can lift my grandchildren, I can sit with them on the floor. So there you have the key. You're not going to the gym because you need to go to the gym. You are going to the gym so you can be with your grandchildren. So if you change that perspective, there is no bump going to the gym. So it's like it's small shift, but
Yes.
it makes a big impact in their life. So
Michael, that
that's
is such an excellent point. It's a great point. I want to comment on that because people, like you mentioned earlier when we were talking, that we have a lot of prejudice that we live in society, right? And it's not a fact. Sometimes it's biases, it's people's experience of you or what they think. But as you keep hearing some of the things people say to you, it becomes real, even if it's a lie. And you're using that same methodology to speak good things and positive things into yourself to make it real. So that I like that. I like that a lot, to make it real. And eventually, if it's a great day, if you keep saying it's a great day, things are going to happen for you. It's going to be a wonderful experience for you. Typically, sometimes your mood, how you feel about your life can be a little bit upper than downward.
yeah, and those key things. And most people are educated. They know
Mm,
themselves. They have read
mm,
some books, self-help books or whatever. They talk to some people and so on. But they don't use the knowledge from their point of view. So my
mm.
method is to use their own knowledge and
Yes.
turn it to so they can use it in their daily life. That's the key. You have the knowledge already, but you don't know which one and how to transform it to something new. That's the key.
I like that. I like that you use your own knowledge to help them realize the states or mental state they're in. Now, I want to ask you, many people feel stuck, stressed, especially right now, or empty, even when they're successful. Successful people sometimes are mostly stressed and empty inside. Why does this happen?
Um, I think the key is there's two things. One, they don't have a private goal as a successful goal. They don't
Hmm.
have a goal with the family, with friends, with they only have a goal in one field, and the other
Mm,
don't have a goal. And they had their success, and they have their fulfillment, but they didn't reset their goal. They just walked the same path with no challenge, no uh, new goal setting. That's why I stopped sport, because I knew I'm not the guy training 4 more years to the next Paralympic, because I will not be happy. What should I should I repeat my own world record? That's like pointless in my world. I don't need a double successor. I don't know.
we've already
So,
achieved that already.
yeah. And the second one, that's, are you happy?
Yes.
If you're
Inside.
not inside, outside, you can see when people are happy in their eyes.
Yes.
So
Yes. That's
you,
very true.
you meet these successful people, but you see their eyes, they are like
It's
empty. It's so
empty. Yes.
it's so easy to see, and then you know that the, their goal setting is
Yeah.
off. They
Yes.
have achieved it, but they have to reset a new goal, a new, because we have to strive in life, and sometimes we need to relax too, but we need challenge on a daily basis, small task, whatever it is.
I'm so thankful that you shared that, because after you reach career success, if that's all you're pursuing, you're not going to be fulfilled, because your body and your internal system already knows what it's like to achieve that success. So something like pursuing marriage, having kids, traveling around the world, giving to the orphanage, or doing something else that challenges the success you have had, gives you more fulfillment as a human being. I like that.
So
I think that's excellent.
sometimes, sometimes I used to tell this. I had this crazy idea. So you understand? I mean, there was this wild cat at the back of our house. And since I'm a life coach, I want to interact and learn myself new skills. So I thought, I want this cat to sit on my lap. Okay. So
Okay.
he was a wild cat. So I, every time I went on the backside, he ran away. So I had to challenge myself to train myself to act so the cat didn't bother me. So it, it took me, I think, 7 or 8 months before the cat sit voluntarily on my lap. So that's a challenge um, for me. So I have my own
Mm,
project that
yes.
nobody, it's like a crazy project, because if I can get a cat to sit on my lap, I can do other stuff too. You understand? It's like an adventure.
Very true. Very true. It's a challenge. It's a different adventure. And then when you get that, you feel good, happy it happened. I, Michael, I want us to talk about, now that you have rebuilt your life from your world record level, your success from there, to now your introspect that you have in a different life that you have. What does success mean to you today compared to before?
It's more on daily basic. It's
Hmm.
not striving to achieve this big performance. It's more on daily basis that
Yeah.
I challenge myself every day. What take me further down the road where I want to go?
Mm.
Small things. And uh, if I don't want to work, I don't need. I can just, I do it tomorrow because I have that advantage. And probably I will fix the things I need to fix quicker tomorrow because I I take this step off. So that's the value, that's the success today.
Hmm. I like the way you define it. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's one of the best I have heard. And I want to ask, for someone listening who feels like they've lost everything, which we know it's a difficult time right now. There's people who have lost their jobs, people are going through divorce, there are people who have lost their parents, there are people who are sick with, maybe they have some chronic illness and so forth. There's some people who their flights got canceled. Um, how or what would you say to them? And they don't recognize
Then,
themselves anymore
no,
from the system that they used to
sometimes there is a reason why you end up where you end up.
have.
And if you know, step back, reflects what's the learning curve for where I come. Our parents, hopefully, they will die before me. So that's a normal part of life. But how can I change that to positive reflection of the tools I get in the
Right.
process? If you
Mhm.
change perspective wherever you are and ask yourself, why does this happen? I had this movie out a couple of weeks ago. It's called 99.9%. And it's, I say, 99.9% of everything happening to you
Mhm.
it's in your head.
It's in your head. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the 0.01%? That's bad luck.
Yes.
So if you have the other 99.9%, you're good because you will figure out the way you need to go. But you need to stop and reflect and find the 1% chain reaction that will take you from where you are now to where you want to go. That's the best help I think I can give these people. Reflect, how did you end up there? Find the 1% and start a new chain reaction, and you will be okay.
Of your mindset, and I like how you articulate your process. And as I'm speaking to you, I'm learning you're someone who thinks positively. Regardless of what's happening around you or to you, you have the mindset of thinking in a positive way, trying to figure out why that happened, learning from it, taking that feedback and trying to be better as a human being. That's all we can do. So yeah. Take it one day at a time, right? One day at
Yeah,
a time.
one day at a time. That's perfect.
Yeah. Yes. Michael, this has been such a wonderful discussion. I appreciate your insights. I know you have a book out there too. Would you like to introduce your book as well for anyone who's interested in maybe reading? And for those who are listening to us today, if they want to get in touch with you, what is the best method for them to reach out to you?
Okay, my name is Mikael Avatar with a K, and I have a website called michaelavatar.com. And on that page, you have some information, you have some art, you even have an app, free app for training your daily thing every day. You can download it, you can get it there. You have even my second book that's called Life Reset Zero. Why it's called Zero is because the book on Amazon, Life Reset, it should really be number 2 and not number 1. So you can download this for free at my website, and you have all the steps how to find your 1% and how it affects your life. So search for Mikael Avatar with a K, and you will find me because I'm the only one that have that name on Google or whatever you search on.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. I would definitely be reading that because I myself, I know there are areas that I need to improve. So I appreciate you for being on this show. For everyone listening, thank you for being on the show. Please remember to subscribe. This has been such a wonderful discussion about inner work inner peace and doing things that will make you happy. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.